What's up guys, Brad here from Piney Grove, and today we're going to be using this rake to rake all of the hay or the pasture that we mowed 3 days ago. And we have to get it all done in about 5 or 6 hours because there's rain moving in this afternoon. So I've never pulled a hay rake before or ever raked hay before. I baled hay as a kid, but I think I was mainly the grunt labor. Let's take a look at this rake. It's got a Vevor hydraulic motor on it. So rather than the tractor needing remote hydraulics, it's actually got its own motor and hydraulic reservoir and hydraulic pump system so that we can lower and raise these rakes. I'm using all borrowed equipment here, and luckily this rake came this way or else I would not be able to use this tractor to rake with. And I'm still not sure the tractor will pull it. Working. And I'll be using a mini hay baler. So what the owner of the hay baler said is that this will make the row too wide, but I don't have a lot of time to double rake. So we're gonna rake this once, try the baler. Hopefully it works. If not, we're gonna have to hook back to this rake and re-rake it. This should be fun. Let's go. It's definitely adjustable. I just gotta lengthen this out and that'll close it in the back. It's got 3 holes here. So if I can move this pin to this hole and push that out, you can see it's got an indicator here. So I just need these to go out further. And as those arms go out further, that'll close that gap in right there. Bear with me today, guys. There may be a little wind noise. I just don't have time to put a mic on and off. I think if I lift this, yep, makes it easier to pull that pin out. And I should be able to swing these arms. I think this is gonna work. So with that weight off of it, I can just swing this arm. Let me lift it a little more. That didn't help. That closed it up a good bit. That one is on second one. I'm actually going to the third one here. I think I almost got it. I can beat that in. That closed it up nicely. All right, let's try that. I'm gonna lift it up and go right over the row I've already done and see if that doesn't make a tighter, more compact row for the little baler. Hey guys, I think that's gonna work. Get it? Hey guys. That worked really good to close that gap on that hay rake to make that windrow smaller. But I think that's all I have to do. I don't think I'm gonna have to do a second pass. And actually, if whatever the baler doesn't pick up, I'll be fine with that. I'm gonna call that a win over there. We'll see how the baler picks it up, but I tried to adjust that other arm so that the right side would be as tight as the left side, but I put a big pry bar on it. I couldn't get it enough to drop the pin in that next link. So that's as tight as I'm going to windrow it. It should work. But you know what they say, if you ain't learning, you ain't living. I'm certainly living today because all this is a new experience. But now I think we can do some long straightaway rows. And I can't say enough about that Vevor attachment on there that allows the hydraulics to pick up those cylinders. Otherwise, I'd have to use the really big 75 horsepower John Deere tractor, which is more fun to use, but it's less maneuverable. All right, let me get back to work. I was getting soaking wet with sweat and a little bit of nervousness, so I switched to my Florida suit here. And also my eyes are starting to water from, I guess, the dust from the hay. But we're gonna do these long strips here, so I'm gonna put you on time lapse, and I'll see you back in a few minutes. Okay, what am I learning here? Well, number one, you got to have a thought to the pattern you're going to do, because with the hydraulics not on the tractor and actually being on the rake, you got to get off to lift it up. Another thing is it turns easier or harder to the right, but on the left where that little jack stand is, that will hit your tire. There's a lot more to learn, I'm sure. By the time I get through with this whole 5 acres, I'll probably have a much better grip on it. Let me get back to work or experimenting. So big tufts like that are probably going to be hard for the baler to take, but I can slow down. I got hydrostatic drive on my tractor, so it'll be easy to slow down. Ideally, all those windrows would be straight, but with the trees to go around and not having the hydraulics on the tractor, I just couldn't think of a way to, make a straight line, stop, go around the tree, start on this side of the tree. A couple years ago when we had this field hayed for us, the guy didn't want to come back the following year and the years after because he didn't want to deal with the trees. And I thought it was just because of the way that it cuts. It's hard to cut with a long cutter, but it's also hard to rake with a wide rake. Oh, another thing I learned is don't take the full width of the rake. In other words, don't have both sides gathering hay to the center, or else it'll make too big a windrow for the baler. So I keep one side kind of clean and the other side raking hay so that the row isn't as tall. Okay, back on time lapse you go. Miss Piney Grove couldn't be here today, not because she didn't want to be, but because the pollen and the dust from the hay was actually making her eyes burn no matter what kind of allergy medicine she took. So I haven't had a problem with that, but today I did take allergy medicine, and now that we're fluffing this hay up, it's not really burning my eyes, but they're watering. I'm like, looks like I'm crying probably. Almost forgot to let it down. Gotta be down to rake. That thing is nice. So this is going to be a Today I Learned video. So down and back, I checked the camera timer. It was 10 minutes for me to go down and back. But that's because halfway coming this way, there's a spot out there where the grass grows really well. So there's a lot of cut grass. And it actually got bound up in the output of the rake and came over into itself, and it wasn't creating a windrow. So I had to stop, lift up the rake, and then grab the pieces of hay or the big bunches of hay and go back and kind of fill in the windrow. So that's what I learned on that pass, was that you got to keep a constant eye on that in heavy grass. And if it starts building up, then you got to stop and do something. We'll figure that out on this next pass. Second thing I learned on that pass was that this has a long cord on it, and I could actually keep that up at the operator station of the tractor. I think I'm going to leave it back here for now. It's just something else to get tangled and for me to mess up. Man, that thing is wide. I got it caught between two oak trees. Hard to back up and lift it at the same time. But I'm over here on this side of the pasture. There's only a few passes left though. I don't know if these windrows are gonna be too much for that little baler. We'll actually bale it in a different video because this took longer than I thought. I don't want to saddle y'all with an hour-long video. Maybe 3 more passes and this field is done, and I got another small field to do. That right there is what happens when you don't pay attention and you get your rake over into your other windrow. What I'm trying to do is keep the one rake over clean grass, so only one rake is bringing grass in, so my windrow isn't too big. And I know those of you out there that do hay for a living, do it professionally, do it to make money, are saying this is the most inefficient raking you've seen. You're probably right, but we all got to start somewhere. And I'm starting learning on this field. A couple more passes, we'll have it knocked out. That Vevor system is slick. I'll leave a link down below. We're a Vevor affiliate. I didn't have any intentions of making this a commercial, but just sharing something that's working really well for me. Okay guys, we're all done, and here's what I got to say about that. It's fun, but it's not fun. It's fun, but it's frustrating. So number one, that's 39 horsepower tractor, hydrostatic drive, no problem at all towing that hay rake, whatever speed I wanted to go. If the gate was open wider, instead of closing it in on the end, I think I could have went full speed. I wouldn't have had any hangups. But because I closed that cone at the end to make a tighter windrow for the mini baler, I was getting hung up on that end of the pasture where the grass is better. If I didn't catch it right away, the grass would ball up between the hay rake and the tires, and it would be like 3 bales in there. And I'd have to pull it out and then spread it out on the windrow so it could be baled. So that slowed me down. The hydraulics were phenomenal. I would have kept them on the tractor. I would do that if I was going to do this for a long period of time, but I didn't because I just didn't want another cord and things in the way. But other than that, it's a fairly simple process. If you're intimidated by baling your own hay, the cutting part, which is in a different video that was probably posted a week ago, the raking part, not that complicated. And I know for you that do hay for a living, you're gonna say I overcomplicated this, but I think I'll be better next time. And the next video will be the actual baling, and I've got to go get that done. So let me go hook to the baler and do that. That'll be in a separate video. Be on the lookout for that. But that's going to end today's video. Sure appreciate you watching. If you would, click that like button. Otherwise, until next time, remember, life's short, tractor hard.